not change anything on the computer in the actual study.
Little group today, and just coming up here, I was really kind of feeling my heart kind of beat because I'm really looking forward to this message by Caty. And Caty is a freshman at Reagan, right? Churchill, just kidding. She's a freshman at Churchill, and she has an amazing message to share tonight. So if you guys could clap for Caty.
Hello, I'm Caty, and I guess I'll be sharing my testimony. By the way, that was a really good song. Let you know. Pretty much how it goes is I went to summer camp last year. I go like every year. It's a church camp that our church does. And I've always been a Christian. I'd grown up going to church and stuff, but I've always wanted I wanted a testimony, and I prayed for one. And because, I heard people that had really cool testimonies, like I was a drug addict and I came to Jesus or something, and mine was, I was 6 years old and I got baptized. And so it wasn't very exciting. And I think God has a sense of humor, and so I asked for a testimony, and he was like, well, we're going to give you one. And so I went to camp, and the camp was called Amplify, and it was all about how you're trying to amplify the message of Christ and tell more people and more people. And he told, the speaker, John Tyson, told one story that really touched me. He said he knew a kid who wanted to tell people about Christ, and so he took his yearbook and he circled all the people he knew that didn't know God, and he was going to tell them about it. And I came home and I wanted to tell 300 people about Christ. That was my goal. And I told my mom and my dad, and I told their small group, and everyone kind of looked at me and was like, wow, 300 people, do you even know that many people? I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to find these 300 people, and I don't care who it is, and as long as you're listening, I'm going to tell them. And they're like, okay, well, whatever, we'll pray for you. And so I was, right before camp, my legs started to hurt, and I was in a car crash, and I went to the hospital, and everything was fine, and they said, you're fine, and they took x-rays, and they said, you're fine, but my leg kept on hurting. And I got home from camp, and over camp it had gotten a lot worse. And I got home from camp, and it just kept on progressing and getting worse and worse and worse, where I couldn't go up the stairs, I couldn't get I couldn't get out of the pool, getting out of the pool would hurt me so much. And at one point I was at CVS crying, and I was like, I just need crutches. And my dad was like, you don't just diagnose yourself with crutches, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, Dad, I need crutches. He was like, okay, I'm gonna shut you up, we're going to the doctor. So he took me to the pediatrician, and she was like, you're fine, it's just growing pains, you're fine. And I was like, oh, it's not just growing pains, somebody listen. It was so frustrating. And another week went by, and my mom went out of town to go work, and my dad is like he could see that I was in a lot of pain, and he was like, okay, we're going back to this pediatrician. So we went back, and she was like, okay, ma'am, I was in a car crash, maybe something has to do with that, I can't walk, I don't know what you don't understand, but I did your Motrin deal, it didn't work out, and so I need help. So she sent me to a sports medicine doctor, and he was very thorough, and he decided that he'd take an MRI. And so he took the MRI, and we just thought it would be a slip disc, worst case scenario, and I'd have to get surgery, which that at the time scared me half to death. I was like, not surgery. So I was getting ready. I was going to be a counselor at my little brother's camp, and he was getting ready to go to camp. We had just gone to Target and bought our flashlights and gone to Whataburger and eaten lunch. And we get home, and my mom gets a phone call. And I just remember I had gone inside to put the groceries inside, and I come out, and she looked really, really nervous. And I was like, I didn't know what to think about it. And they were like, you need to report to Christus Santa Rosa downtown immediately. We have a room ready for you. And they said they found a growth on my, like on my back area. And I was like, no, like growth means cancer. I know what growth means. And so I went to Christus Santa Rosa, and the amount of family and outpour and outreach of people who came to see me was just amazing. And that week, I still had my 300 people in mind, and I was just praying a lot, and I was like, I know God can get you through anything. I've seen it in other people, and I know He's the gatekeeper, and He lets what you can handle in, and that's all He'll let in. And so I knew I could handle this. I knew I had God on my side, and it was big, and God was much bigger than any tumor could ever be. And July 14th, I was diagnosed with a rare form of teenage bone cancer, but the prognosis was good. And so I said, okay, well, I just got to get through this, you know? And somehow, I'm going to get my 300 people. And so I kept on praying about it, and my grandma told me about this site called Caring Bridge, and it's for people with, like, cancer or who've been in a serious accident, and it's a blog site, and you just tell your testimony pretty much, or what's going on. And so I created it, and that summer from July till school started, I wrote blogs every day about how I was doing and how God was working in my life. Well, today, I think, what is the number?
Close to 40,000.
It's close to 40,000 people have viewed the site, and they videotaped my testimony at church. Like, the church videotaped my testimony and showed it to all 3 services, and we go to a big church. We go to Community Bible, and so that showed between the 3 services and then all the outreach churches they send it to, and all the troops in Iraq they send it to. How many was it?
Over 10,000.
Over 10,000 people. So I think that's just how amazing God is. And it's not about me. It was just about how God planted something inside me, a want that I wanted to tell 300 people through Him. And I knew that myself, I could not tell 300 people because, come on, I was just a high schooler, you know? I didn't even think I knew 300 people. But what God can do is so, so amazing. How He can, like, just, like, expand your wants and what you want to do for Him like that. And so that's my testimony. And so now I've told over, like, 50,000 people. Sounds like a big number. And so that's my testimony.